Let's turn now to Jim from Midfield, who is joining us this evening. Jim, we appreciate you staying up late with us tonight. Go right ahead with your question, if you will.
Yes, ma'am. I was wondering if you get hurt on the job and you tell your supervisor and somehow it gets to the supervisor and then to the boss and they try to fire you, what do you do?
It's a great question, Jim.
It is a great question.
If it's okay.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this is an extremely common situation. We get these phone calls, not daily, but almost every day, that employers, they treat their employees, hopefully, fairly. But if they're not working and producing for the company, a lot of times they get kicked to the curb. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, and no offense to Kirby's name, what happens is you're not producing for the company because you're hurt. Well, if it's a good employer and they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, they put you through the work comp system, whereas we talked about it a minute ago, all your medical care should be taken care of. They should be starting to pay you work comp benefits. But what they can't do, and the law specifically says this under the Alabama Work Comp Act, is they can't retaliate against you by terminating your employment. And here's the key term: the sole reason for the termination is because of maintaining the work comp claim. And without going down that road too far, they cannot retaliate against you and terminating you. Now, if you violated a known safety law or a regulation of the company or a rule or there's a whole host of reasons. If they come up with a legitimate reason, then you can be terminated even if you've been injured on the job.
So what do you suggest to someone who may feel like, how do you handle that? If you feel like that was the reason, do you just call an attorney? Do you try to talk with them and reason with them? What do you suggest?
Well, educate yourself.
Okay.
But then that becomes tricky because you don't want, and I know Kirby's told his clients as well, don't let Google replace what we have done and do in our jobs as lawyers. Call a lawyer. It could be any lawyer who you know, and hopefully that lawyer, whether they do workers' comp and employment law or not, will get you to somebody to help evaluate your case. And there shouldn't be a cost to you. It's just your time on the phone or in person or now on, virtually. But you need to start educating yourself. Because if you have a good relationship with your employer, that should not, hopefully it does not change even though you've been hurt on the job.
Great advice.
That is a great advice. And you touched on it just briefly too, that it doesn't cost you up front. And we
That's
we
right.
often say this, just to make a
Correct.
call, it does not cost.